That's fine. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and look at this one. It says f of x is equal to 2x plus 7. So the first thing you want to do is write down the difference quotient. And basically do what the difference quotient says. Don't start thinking and don't start trying to, just do what it says. M is equal to f of x plus h minus f of x over h. Just do what it says. Now, let's say, for instance, that you're a little bit confused and don't know what to do. Well, so much for that. I was going to move that over, but don't worry about it. Let's say that, let's take this out right here. And just put a 3 right here. What does that mean? What does that f of 3 mean? Anywhere there's an x, do what? 3. Okay, so then I would do this. I would go m is equal to, I'm going to put brackets here, minus brackets over h. And right here, I would put 2 times parentheses plus 7. And here, I would put 2x plus 7. Now, what would I put right here? I would put the 3 in right there. And then what? I would go on about my business and do 2 times 3 is 6, plus 7 is 13. And then 13 minus 2x plus 7. 13 plus 7 is what? 20 minus 2x over h, and I'm done. Don't get confused by the x plus h, because all you have to do then now what am I going to put in right here? X plus h. Simple as that. Don't start making things difficult. So that 2 goes right here. You just have to make the parentheses a little bit bigger. Okay, now I want you to do that, because you got to clean up. That's everybody telling me they're late for class. That's about the 3rd one I've gotten this morning. Okay, I'm gonna go to the white page so I can work with this a little bit better, because on the transparency, I can't do crap. So I'm gonna change it to 2x plus 7, f of x f of x is equal to 2x plus 7. And the way I do it when I do the difference quotient is I go m is equal to, and I put brackets, minus brackets, over h, and then I rewrite this, just like we did with composition. You rewrite f and put big sets of parentheses, so you can put in g. F composed of g, and then that's the way I do it. So I rewrite this, 2 parentheses plus 7, and then rewrite this as in terms of x, because that's f of x. And now you plug in the what? X plus h. And that's where we took off the previous page. So now, m, and actually, when you get to calculus, you're going to see limit as x approaches, h approaches 0. That's what you're going to see, and then the 0, I'll show you. M equals 2x plus 2h plus 7 minus 2x minus 7 over h. And what will happen to the x terms? They will cancel, and the 7s will cancel, and you're left m as limit as h approaches 0 of 2h over what? And your answer, the slope, is equal to 2. Basically what you get. Now, what if that would have had something else there? Well, if it would have had another x or whatever, you would have got 2x, and then you would have had the first derivative, which is the equation for the line of the slope at any point on a curve. And that's what you're going to be doing the first unit test in Calc 1. Okay? So your answer is 2. Now, if any of you had calculus before, the derivative, first derivative of this is equal to 2, and you can do that in your head once you get into Unit 1. And you don't have to do the difference quotient. You don't have to do all of this. I'll show you that in just a minute, just to give you a taste of it. Question on that one? All right, let's do a narrative. I'm just going to make one up. That way if we fall apart, then I'm going to have to fly. F of x is equal to, let's just do something simple like x squared. Find the difference quotient of x squared. I'll go ahead and tell you what the answer is. 2x. Yeah, just come on in whenever. I'll just start bringing breakfast every morning for everybody. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rewrite it in terms of brackets, because that's the way I show it and that's the way I do it. I still do it today. If you walk into my office and you ask me to do the difference quotient and you're in calculus, the first thing I'm going to do is put 2 sets of brackets. No matter if I'm explaining it or no matter if I'm doing it just to do it, because that's the way I do it, because I keep it separate. That's going to be f of x plus h, and this is going to be f of x. Now f of x doesn't take much thinking, does it? All you got to do is just rewrite this right here, because that's f of x. See? So let's just do it squared. Now for those of you that's just coming in, previous screen and on the video, which is going, which you need to look at, I put a 3 here just to show y'all what to do with x plus h. Now if I was to put a 3 there, what would that mean? What do you do with f of 3? Okay, so you put a parenthesis here and you put in a 3. That's what that would be. But when it's not 3, is it? What is it? What's in here? In the difference quotient. So what are we going to plug in? X plus h. All right? Now do it. Now you have a quadratic or a shortcut. Now, usually here is where I have to go through the shortcut list for 2 reasons. One, because you forget them, and 2, because you probably never heard them called shortcuts before, because I call them that. Because I do it every single one of them. So I'm going to write them on the board for you. Shortcut number 1. A plus B quantity squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Shortcut number 2. A minus b quantity squared is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Number 3. A squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. Number 4. A cubed plus b cubed is equal to a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. And number 5 is a cubed minus b cubed is equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. And you should have seen these last semester if you took 102, or if you had Algebra 2 or Pre-Calc. You should remember them. I call them shortcuts because I'm not going to go through and say difference of 2 squares, sum of 2 cubes, sum of 2. I'm not doing that 50 million times in a class. So I'm calling them shortcuts 1 through 5. If you want to learn them that way to make things easier for you, that's fine, because that's what I'm going to call them. And I think everybody should remember this. Just to give you an example, if you go this direction, this direction, this direction, this direction, and this direction, you're basically multiplying. So put your little, no, don't do that. And you'll get confused. Just flip M. You're multiplying. If you go the other direction, you're factoring, which is dividing. Okay? I'm not going to go through these because you should know them, you should know how to do them. So let's go back to the original problem. And what do we have here? Shortcut number what? Number 1. And it's going to look like this when you finish. It's just going to have x's instead of this. So, m is equal to x squared plus what? 2xh plus what? H squared minus x squared over h. And what happens to the x squared? And that's what's supposed to happen. Your x's and your constants usually will cancel out. Usually. But when you get to the second order of derivatives, you're going to see, not the second derivative, but the second order or the three-step derivatives, you're going to start seeing the constants not cancel. Like you're going to have 7 minus 4, and then you're going to have a 3. And the 3 is going to be left in the answer. That's when you get to 3x. The first derivative of x squared plus 3x is 2x plus 3. And you'll have a 3 in your answer. You'll see. Just take my word for it.
When it has the extra
Mm-hmm.
do not ever put like you extra
I was just showing if the way we started today, the class started. Hold on. Oh, it's on there. There we go. The way I started class today is with this problem, and I said, what if this was a 3? F of 3 minus f of x, and we put a 3 right here. And then I said, well, f of this is not f of 3, it is f of x plus h. So instead of the 3 going in for this x right here, what's going to go in for it? X plus h. That's where the 3 came from. I just followed the number. Because I told the class, I started the class off with baptism by fire with the quadratic the other day. So we're going to work back up to the quadratic. All right? So here is what we got. And some of y'all have no idea what baptism by fire is. It's where somebody just throws you into the meat grinder. Well, I threw y'all into the meat grinder with the quadratic, okay? So I won't do that no more, okay? So we got, what's in common here? So, and this is going to happen mostly all the time in your calculus class. The h's, an h will factor out. So h times 2x plus h over h. And what happens to these two h's? They cancel, and you're left with 2x plus h. Well, Hubert, I thought that you said that the answer was going to be 2x. Well, I'm going to get to that in just a second. This is your answer in Math 110. Okay, that's your answer in this class. 2x plus h, that's the answer. In calculus, and this is part of the Unit 1 test, you're going to be given this, limit as x approaches 0. H, sorry. I have a habit of doing that. Most math teachers do. It's usually x. H approaches 0. What was our answer? 2x plus h. What happens when you plug in 0 for h? And that's the answer in calculus. Now, again, we don't have to do the difference quotient in calculus because we just take this out front and minus 1, and that's 2x to the first power, which is x. And you just have to do this in calculus, and you don't have to do all of this. But in order to do this, you have to derive this. In other words, the mathematicians long time ago had to derive this to get it to this. So you wouldn't have this if you didn't have this. You wouldn't have the phone that you have if somebody hadn't worked through all the math. You still be you wouldn't even have the brick phone. Remember the brick phone? You seen pictures of the brick phone? You wouldn't even have that. So, brick phone, smartphone.
So that's the final answer
In calculus, this is the answer. In Math 110, this is the answer. You don't know about limits yet. Or you will after tree. It's gonna have a bomb in this cup. All right. Oops. I'm sorry, I'm not being mathematical. Here we go. Yeah, just come and go as you please, that's fine. Now, this is the third problem we're doing, and if you do the brackets, if you've never seen this before, and you do the brackets, you shouldn't have a problem. You should be going, hey, I'm getting this. I feel good about myself. And then once I get that confidence up, then what? I'm going to crash and just tear it all to pieces. And try to get you to quit. All right, so here we go. M is equal to f of x plus h minus f of x over h. And the easy one to fill out is this one because you just have to rewrite this. And over here, I'm going to rewrite this with big sets of parentheses. And now I'm going to plug in what? What am I going to plug in?
I thought that one already said it.
Yeah, I'm plugging in x plus h.
You have a work email.
Or
X squared plus 2x.
no,
Wherever there's an x, you plug in what?
I thought you said that one didn't change though. It just
This
had to
one
be-
don't.
It just had to stay X percentage.
Hmm?
I thought that first one had to stay the same, like it was just X percentage split. That was it. There was no two, there was no nothing.
I changed the problem.
No, I know that, but I thought you're always supposed to put the f of x in for x on the second one, so on the second one, it was x squared plus
Yeah, now you can use me.
2. Okay, look, come here,
What's the equation?
like, right there. When I
That's
asked
the
you-
previous problem.
Yeah, when I asked you,
Mhm.
like, say things, yeah. So when I wrote that one, I thought it was that one that said the same.
No, remember. Okay, let me address this because this is the question that all students get hung up on. let's just put a hold right on this. All right, do that. First one would be what? 3 parentheses plus 4 minus, and this one doesn't change. This is just this. Over 8. And what goes here? What goes here?
Why would you put the 3 in front though?
You're rewriting this with sets of parentheses because this means that you have to do what? Let's change it to 4. No, let's not change it to 4. Let's change it to I'm mixing you up by picking 3. Let's change it to a 7. Okay? So what am I going to plug in right here? There you go. So if this is an x plus h, what am I going to do? Plug in an x plus h wherever there's a what? You're not seeing it. See, what you're not seeing is you've got to rewrite this with a big set of parentheses.
No, I get that, but there was like times when you were like, X plus H does not change.
I don't remember saying that.
Even when you.
I never
Actually,
said
the last
that.
problem.
I said, no, I said this does not change. This is f of x. What is f of x? This. You just rewrite this. You just put this, carry this down here, and put it right here. You carry this down here, but you got to do what? Put a big set of what? Parentheses wherever there's an x.
But I asked you last time, I don't know if it's F of X plus 3, you would never put 3 plus H. No, you don't change the X plus H. Okay, just drop it, but I got it.
No, you were pulling a 3 in from the previous problem that we did. I was using the 3 as an example. The x plus h, no, the x plus h, when you plug it in, it's x plus h. That does not change. This goes here, and this goes here. Why does it go here and here? Because f of x is what? Parentheses squared plus 2 times parentheses. Parentheses squared plus 2 times parentheses. If this is a 3, you put 3 there. If this is a star, you put a star here. If this is a -8, you put a -8 here. Whatever's in these parentheses right here, you what? Plug in right here. This has an x there. So what do you plug in for x? X. So you get x squared plus 2x. This does not change. It comes down here, and and what this does, this takes out the x terms that you're going to get right here, and you're going to be left with all what? H terms.
Now, is it easier if f of x is like f of 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you just plug in 5.
Yeah.
And it's over.
Because having to transfer these x plus h's is
That's what
daunting.
And that's why you got to do it now, so you don't get blindsided in Calc 1.
Right.
Because you'll have to do this before I tell you the answer is 2x plus 2. So, M, and by the time you do 500 or 600 of these, you'll be okay. M is equal to what? What is this?
Shortcut number 1.
X squared plus, that'll always be, if you got a square here, it's going to be shortcut number 1, so it's always x plus h. So x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus what? Plus 2h minus what cancels? And And that will always happen, and the two x's will cancel. And you're left with 2xh plus h squared plus 2h over h. And what's in common at the top? So factor out an h. And that's going to leave you, what's going to happen to the h, the single h on top that you factored out and the h on the bottom? That's going to leave you with 2x plus h plus 2 over h. And the h's do what? Cancel. And you're left with 2x plus h plus 2. That is your Math 110 answer. So the answer for college algebra is 2x plus h plus 2. Now as I do the limit as h approaches 0, what happens to the h? It's going to cancel because what's 2x plus 0? 2x. So 2x plus 2 is your answer. And if you was to throw this out front and subtract 1, throw this out front and subtract 1, you would get 2x to the first plus what? 2x to the 0. And what is that? 2x plus 2. And that is your calculus answer that you're going to be building up to in Unit 1. So that's in the future. This is now. So let's do a nerd. F of x is equal to x squared minus 4. Plug and chug. M is equal to f of x plus h minus f of x over h. I'm just putting these brackets here so you can see what I'm doing with the brackets. There's the first set of brackets, and there's the second set of brackets. So M is equal to all right, what am I going to do right here? I'm going to rewrite this with a big set of what? So that would be parentheses squared minus what? And what am I going to do here? Just rewrite this. And what am I going to do here? Plug in x plus h. Go to it. The rest of it's nothing but algebra. And that's what people forget how to do in the first unit of calc. No. You tell me. What does it have beside it? What does the first term have? You have two terms up here. Right here. You have this term and you have this term. What does this term have in it? X. And what are you supposed to do when you plug in? Plug in for, so x squared minus 4. X squared minus 4. Why don't I have an x plus h right here? There's no x. Wherever there's an x,
Okay.
you plug in what? X plus h. So, maybe it would help if I did this. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Wherever there's an x, you put a big set of parentheses. If it doesn't have an x beside it, you just put it down. Now your answer here, the calculus answer is going to be 2x. The when math 110 answer is going to be 2x plus h, I think. Or it might be 2x plus h. I can't do the algebra in my head. So we'll just see when we get there. A whole lot easier to do the calculus. So what is this? Shortcut number 1. X squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus what? 4 minus what? X squared plus what?
You have a work email.
And what happens to the 4s? What happens to the negative x squared and x squared? If you don't get those terms canceling out, then what does that mean? You've done something wrong. Now, the 4s may not always cancel out, but the x squareds should, or the x to the thirds, or whatever the case may be. And that's going to leave you with 2xh plus h squared over h. And that's going to leave you with h times 2x plus h over h. And your answer, your college algebra answer, is 2x plus h. What if I plug in h is equal to 0? What's the answer? 2x. And that's your calculus. All right, I'm going to challenge you a little bit. Okay? Some of y'all may call it discourage you a little bit. Okay? Let's move up a step and let's go f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 4x. I would start on a new sheet of paper and write small, because you may have to plug each other a little bit more. Or quit and discuss and throw your pencil down. Say, I quit. No, you hadn't wrote 2 sets of brackets. You hadn't done that. Fm equals a big set of brackets, I'll do that for you, okay? M is equal to big set of brackets minus the big set of brackets over h. And at least you can put this one in, because this one is what? Okay, so at least you can do that much. This one, you need to rewrite this. Wherever there's an x, put a big set of parentheses. marker. I'm gonna color that blue. And then wherever there is one of those, I'm gonna put a blue set of parentheses. And then what's gonna go in to those blue sets of parentheses? Hmm? I can't make it any simpler. I don't know what else to do. I'm color coding it.
So for our answer officially, even though we know that as H gets closer to 0, we still have to record the H.
Yeah, you gotta put the H in there. Because you don't know what limit is yet. All right, what do you not understand?
Okay, you know how you color coded, whatever.
Color coordinate.
Right. Okay, I put the x plus h squared in the very first one, and then on the second one, I put 4 times 2x squared plus 4x on the second one. Like you
Okay,
said.
what you're doing is you're plugging in f of x into here.
Yeah, because I thought you said we were supposed to set it in forever.
No. What you're supposed to do is rewrite this right here in terms of two big sets of parentheses. 2 parentheses squared plus 4 parentheses. And then, after you draw the 2 sets of parentheses, you plug in x plus h.
So x plus h will always be in the first.
It will always be, yes, because f of x plus h. That's the m is equal to f of x plus h minus f of x over h. This is the difference quotient. That's what I showed y'all the other day with the slope of the graph. Okay? That tells you that whatever your function is, you're going to draw a big set of parentheses wherever there's an x, and you're going to plug x plus h in. X plus h does not change. It's always done. Some people call it delta, some people call it delta h, some people call it h. It all depends on what teacher and how the planets align. Delta h, and delta, they all are the same thing. X plus delta h, x plus h. Doesn't matter. You can put a k there if you want to. K is your vertical shift, so don't do that. X plus h, and that's always going to be right here and right here. Now, if I had negative 3x cubed plus 4x squared plus 4x, then you better turn your paper sideways, landscape, because it's going to be a very long problem. Because you got to plug in not twice, you got to plug in 3 times, and then you're going to have a cubed function, a squared function, and then you're going to have a linear function, x to the first down here, and then you're going to have f of x, which is in 3 more terms. That one, we won't go there.
So f of x, or x plus h, is always for the x's on the first one, and then the f of x is always on the second one. Okay, I got it.
Okay, got it? That's why I colored these blue. Because wherever there's an x, you're going to plug in a big set of parentheses, and you're going to plug in x plus h.
And then on the second one,
You just write it. So, let's take this and let's do our algebra drill now. Really? How did you do that? Okay, forget it. Okay. So, m is equal to 2 times x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. And you'll have that memorized by the time we do the test. So it's kind of hard to screw that up. Plus what? 4x plus 4h minus what? 2x squared minus what? 4x all over h. Now I'm gonna put two steps together here, so you might wanna write the next step down. Distribute the what? The 2. Distribute the 2. And that'll give you 2x squared plus what? Okay. That's going to give you, and I'll color it purple just so you can see I distributed it. Ooh, nothing like that. 2x squared plus what? 4x plus what? 2h squared. What I say? Okay, 4h, sorry. All right, and what, I erased that, what was this? Positive, that's it? All right, now what goes out? And you know that's supposed to happen. And the 4x cancels. Anything else? Huh? What?
You got 4x plus 4h, you don't mean 4x8 cancel?
No. 4x plus 4h is not this. 4x plus 4h is 4 oranges and 4 apples. This is 4 times an apple and an orange. So it's not the same thing. Never asked that. All right. So we get m is equal to 4xh plus 2h squared plus 4h over h. Factor out the h on top, and you get h times 4x plus 2h plus 4 over h. And what happens to the h's? They cancel, and you're left with 4x plus 2h plus 4. Yes. You can factor out a 2. Well, yeah, you could. Let me check the answer. The answer is 4x plus 4. That's going to be the answer, so that would be correct. Yeah. Because the h, what's going to happen to the h? It's eventually going to cancel because you're going to plug in 0 for it. So, but that is the, no, do not factor out a h. I mean, do not factor out a 2. Just leave it like that. Because it's not finished yet. How about that? Can I just say that for you? It's not finished yet. Just leave it like that.
What answer is it going to take on mine?
Again,
What
that's the
answer is
answer.
it
It's going
gonna
to
take?
take 4x plus 2h plus 4.
No.
Because you cannot cancel, you cannot pull it out because in the future you're going to take the limit. And then after you do that, you could do it. But let me show you. See, this is to be what? To be continued. Okay? For now, the answer is 4x plus 4 plus 2h, 4x plus 2h plus 4, 2h plus 4x plus 4, 2h plus 4 plus 4x. Doesn't matter how you do it because 2 plus 3 is the same as what? 3 plus 2. So it doesn't matter about the order. That's your answer. Yes, sir.
Factoring out, we're on that part where we're getting ready to take out the h,
Yeah, right here.
so that we can cancel it with the denominator.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the pre-algebra or whatever 1 or 2 is would tell you to take out a 2.
You can.
Because I don't know what a limit is.
That's fine. Go ahead and do it. I don't know if your answer is going to be 4x plus 4. Now, right here, you could factor out a 4, and you get x plus 1.
So
So-
basically, like,
The algebra rules still apply, and you could factor out a 2 right here.
and then in calculus, I could refine it and make it something different.
Yeah. The answer is going to be, no matter how you do it, no matter how you shake it up, the answer eventually is going to be that right there.
Because
Because-
as it gets closer to 0, it's gonna.
Well, let me ask you this. What is that? What's that line? I told you it was called the what?
Secant.
No, tangent. Secant's on the inside. All right? What kind of line is that? It's a linear. Give me the equation for a linear line. See it? That's why it's going to be 4x plus 4. It's not going to be 2 times x plus 3. It's going to be, or 2 times x plus 1. You're going to leave it in 4x plus 4 because what you're finding, the difference quotient, is giving you with the limit plus the limit, and just hold on, don't say, Hubert, this isn't calculus class. No, I know it's not calculus class because I teach it. I know it's not, but what I'm trying to tell you is, your goal, this is the first part, your goal in first semester calculus after you go through trig and learn the trig is to get the equation for the slope of the tangent what? Line. So you might want to write this down. And the reason you want to write this down is that's your goal for the first unit test in calculus. And you can't do the first unit test until you can do this. And then when you can do this, you can understand this. And the reason you get this is because of the pre-algebra, in Algebra 1 that you learned, the equation of a straight line is y is equal to 4x plus 4. That's why you leave it in this form, and you don't factor out 2. Now, you could factor out a 2 and then say, okay, well, the line would be this way, but since it's a 2, it's going to be compressed a little bit. That would just confuse you on the tangent line. So leave it in this form. And that's why you don't factor out a 2. On this test, if you factored out a 2, I would not mark it wrong. Agreed?
All right.
But in calculus, I would, because I would be asking for the slope of the line. Now, just to give you an example, let's say that this is the equation. No, actually, hold on. Bear with me. It's not going to help me. I'm putting it all. Put the whole thing down. Okay, anyway. Let me do this. Draw another line. Here we go. And let's say that this line right here is the line you just found. Y is equal to what? 4x plus 4, or m is equal to 4x plus 4. Whatever, right? Or actually f of x. Whatever. It's that line right there. Everybody with me? All right. Now let's say I wanted to find take a red point. Let's say I wanted to find the slope at this point right here. Well, let's say that point, is that x is equal to what? Then what am I going to do with that negative 5?
It'll be f of -5 and then
Good job. F of 4x plus 4. What am I going to do with negative 5?
Plug it in for x.
There you go. And my slope at that point is what? Negative 16. So the slope of this line right here is what? Negative 16 over 1. And you can do that for any point on that curve. And for some of you physics people, that's where the perpendicular and your normal vectors come off. Think of taking, everybody's heard the story of David and Goliath. Okay? If you haven't, you know what a slingshot is. There's two kinds of slingshots. There's one that goes through a Y and one that you just spin around. Okay? Think of that rock in that slingshot. It's going however many miles per hour or whatever, it's centrifugal force. All right? Let's look at it like this. Okay, there it is. Each point on that curve, each millisecond of that curve, it has 3 vectors. One vector going that way, one vector coming out like this, and another vector going that way. And those vectors, the tangent right there, there's the tangent. That's the first one that you find in physics. And that's why you have to have the calculus. And then you feel good about yourself. Right? All right, here we go. F of x is equal to, all right, y'all ready? X squared plus 4x minus 2. So if you can't do this one, you might as well what? Quit. Let's see. All right, you might have to write small because it's going to get hairy. Bracket. Go ahead and plug it in right here, x squared plus 4x minus 2. And here is going to be parentheses squared plus what? Parentheses minus 2. And what's going to go in here? Good. Everybody's saying x plus h and not going. Been drooling like Patrick. Hope nobody's naming me Patrick. Patrick starts with
Oh,
M is equal to, and you should know this by heart, x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 4x plus 4h minus 2 minus what? X squared minus 4x plus 2 all over. And let's see if we did everything right. Because if we did everything right, what will cancel? All the x terms and some of the constants maybe, or they may simplify. X squared cancels, good, that's what we want. The 4x should cancel, good. And the 2's will cancel. Now the answer to this problem is going to be 2x plus 4 again. Now, you're going to get into that calculus. You can, CAN, have the same derivative for a different problem because it's a family of derivatives. So you'll get to that in calculus. M is equal to 2xh plus h squared plus 4h all over h, and that'll give us 2x plus h plus 4. Okay, making sure that's right. 2x plus 4. And h is canceled, and you're left with 2x plus 4 plus h. And the reason I put the h last is because later it's going to, what? Call later for calculus. So your answer in Math 110 is 2x plus 4 plus h. In calculus, it's going to be 2x plus 4 as the limit as x approaches 0. How you feel? All right, let's do another one. Because right now you're feeling all right, so that means you might forget how to do it when you get home, or you might not. So let's do a couple more so you don't. F of x is equal to negative 2x squared minus 4x plus 2. Let's change it a little bit more. Hold on. Let's make that a negative 3 and make this a 7x. The main thing is organize it. You don't just haphazardly start plugging and chugging. You need to give yourself enough room to do it. So if you have to turn your paper sideways or write smaller, I would suggest M is equal to brackets minus brackets. And of course, you know you can let this one be a little bit smaller. 3, negative 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. And this is going to be negative parentheses squared. Oh, sorry. 3 parentheses squared minus 7 parentheses plus 2. And what goes here? X plus h. I know I got to put the h. I think I might have quit. I need to, because that was clear. I hear you. Be careful here, because this is where you're going to mess up, right here. Here and here. That's where students mess up. M is equal to negative 3 x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 7x minus 7h plus 2 plus 3x squared plus 7x minus 2 all over h. Now this is something that I do no matter if you come into my office and tell me to do a problem or ask me to do a problem. You need help, either one. I'm going to put that negative 3 outside. I don't try to skip steps there. Now, last time I checked, I had 3 degrees, and I'm doing this step by step. So, what does that mean you might want to do?
What are the
One's degree in science, and I've got a degree in math, and then I got a degree in education, so I can teach.
Why should one do a degree in science? Why should one do a degree in science?
So I can see the applications of math and science. Go figure.
That's a good answer.
I don't like, no, I did, that's why, I don't like, you know, you have to see it. That's why you know the physics. Now, if you ask me about chemistry, I don't know what chemistry. A lot of algebra in chemistry, not a lot of calculus, a lot of algebra. Now you get into organic chemistry, you get a lot of calculus. All right, so that's negative 3x squared minus 6xh minus h squared minus 7x minus 7h plus 2 plus 3x squared plus 7x minus 2 all over h. Now you see why students can't do calculus? Did I leave something out?
3H. 3H squared.
Yeah, just leave the 3 out. You know, it ain't gonna help. Thank you. All right, now, would you have caught that? Yes, the next step, because, well, no, you wouldn't have, because that's not an X term. You might have not caught it, but, well, no, you wouldn't have caught it because you don't know that the answer is going to be negative 6x minus 7 plus h. So, m is equal to, let's take that out, and that out, and that out, and that out, and the 2's go out, and that's going to give you negative 6xh minus 3h squared minus 7h over h, which is equal to h. And you could factor out a negative, but like I told you before, it's going to end up, you're going to end up with negative something x minus something or plus something. So I'm not going to worry about it. So negative 6, or pull your h out, you can pull a negative h out, it's still going to be the same. I'm going to pull just the h because I just want to cancel the h. Hello? Okay, h, and that's going to give you negative 6x minus 3h minus 7 over h. And what happens to the h's? And your answer is negative 6x minus 3h minus 7, which the h term is going to what? Drop, and you're going to get negative 6x minus 7, and I think that's what I told you. So here is your Math 110 answer, and your calculus answer would be negative 6x minus 7. That's your calculus answer that you're going to see. But you see why a lot of people cannot do first semester calculus, the first unit. One, they're getting limits thrown at them 90 miles an hour, and the whole concept of limits. And then two, they're supposed to remember how to do this algebra right off the top of their head in the first few days. And that's why people can't do calculus. So I would highly suggest that you put a tab on this part of your notes and put Calc 1, first unit, because you're going to be going over it. And I'll tell you that all through. You can push your stuff there. I will tell you that all through this semester, rationalizing the denominator, that will be in Calc 1, first unit. Anything that will be in Calc 1, I will tell you. All right, y'all get out of here. Have a good day. Get ready for questions Wednesday. Wednesday will be nothing but a review over any homework questions. I have nothing new to give you, so it will be all review, and the test will start sometime, I'll tell you, after class Wednesday. See ya! And homework shuts off Wednesday. I told everybody that at midnight. Well, 11:59. 11:59 p.m. Have a good one. I found out when I was coming. I think I have intolerance to fructose. Some kind of fructose is in all fruit. Because whenever Right, those watermelon, that watermelon and grape. But what told me was yesterday, I went to church and I came out of church and I drank water and I ate one piece of pizza, Marco's Pizza. And I was suffering all day. So it had to be pepperoni and cheese. And I know it was cheese because I ate cheese all the time at the bottom. So it was the tomato sauce. And I looked it up and there's something called fructose something. And as you get older, you can't, take some things. Like
You're not
tolerant,
100%
what is it, lactose intolerant? Some people go lactose intolerant. Or some people go fructose intolerant. So
You can never have fruit, you can never have.
now, I have to do some more research and ask my doctor and see if there's anything I can pay for it. I don't know. It's amazing what you can, and that's what math is. That's a real life application, trying to figure out a problem. And I kept on and I kept on. I thought it was gluten. I thought I would eat a piece of pizza and my stomach would hurt. And then I thought it was lactose. But then I'd eat a piece of cheese by itself and it wouldn't hurt. So I narrowed it down to fruit. And tomatoes are food. And I like the tomatoes.
Okay. What are you doing? I got a bunch of questions. I sent you like 30 of them.
Okay. It's no problem. Go ahead and do it. What's up? Oh yeah, I gotta fix something on yours. What's your question?
I do not have a question.
Okay, what about you? All right, you got a question? Let me fix your test.
My sister said
She's a loser.
that she would love for you to talk to your fitness friend.
Okay, when I go up there, I'll talk to her, see what, I don't know. He's not very approachable, but it's a nice little office, and I don't know if they're looking for help or not, but I'll ask them when next time I go in. See ya. Darn, I just recorded my self-diagnosis. That's great. Oh, well.